Hello boys and girls, it's been a while since I've made a hair vid. As you can see, it's getting a bit longer now, and it just happens to be that today, this time 3 years ago, was when I was getting my hair done in Turkey. So for those of you that have not seen the other videos, I had it done at Dr Cinik in Istanbul in Turkey. I had 3,300 grafts, including 500 from under the chin there, beard grafts, which they put into the crown and on top. So they try and keep singles for the hairline. Am I pleased with it? Yeah, I am. I've basically got hair on top where it was receding badly, and I had like quite a bald spot at the back. Down for the Phil Oakey look at the moment, shaved on the side and long down there. Not really, it's just how it's gone. I normally have it tied up now. So it's actually shaved that side, and on the back, and it's kind of like undercut so that it grows, otherwise it just bushes right out. It's just quite thick hair I've got. So yeah, it's pleased with it. Like some people get obsessed with the hairline and stuff. I'm pleased with it. Not really bothered what anyone else thinks. I'm sat in front of a really bright window. It's kind of a bit dull outside today, but I normally, like I say, have it tied up now. But yeah, it's getting pretty long. Like I said, I've got it shaved on that side as well. But it's a bit wavy at the moment because it's been tied up. I've only just sort of untied it. So yeah, pretty happy overall. This is not 3 years worth of growth. This is about 1 to 1.5 years on top. And like I said, I cut it on the sides and back so it just doesn't bush right out. I normally have it just sort of tied up now. Could do with combing it actually. Can have like a little man bun. Some people hate that. So, gone quickly, 3 years actually. The hardest part is waiting for it to grow when you've had it done. A lot of people get nervous with the shedding stage, so it sheds after you've had it done and then it regrows. A lot of people do worry about that. I was quite lucky in the fact that mine didn't really shed hardly at all. My hair seems to not grow that quick now. It grew when I first had it done pretty quickly. Like I said, it didn't shed that much, but now it's sort of slowed down a little bit. It's got to this length and it doesn't seem to be doing much else. People ask me what pills do I take. I've never taken finasteride because I give blood. I gave blood last night, did my 60th session. It's quite important to me, that is. So, and I've been lucky that my hair hasn't continued balding. I do take my saw palmetto. Some people say this does absolutely nothing, but for me it seems to work. I did a little experiment a while back. I stopped taking it for a month and a half and my hair did seem to start coming out more in the shower especially. So it doesn't cost hardly anything, so I just carry on taking it. Cod liver oil, omega-3s I should say, fish oil. Again, you don't have to take this stuff, but someone said to me that it helps condition your hair, helps with your joints, so I take it. Ran out of the one I had before, so I bought this one from Tesco. Buy 2, get the third free. Works out quite cheap if you do that. Buy the biggest ones you can get. Multivitamins, I'm taking these ones at the moment. Buy them off Amazon, just whichever ones. I'll leave some links below so that you can see which ones I've been taking, but it's up to you if you want to buy them. And again, biotin for strengthening your hair. Some people say it does absolutely nothing. You don't need it. Probably don't, but they're pretty cheap, so I just take 1 a day of each of those 4 pills. And that brings me to another point. I'm 46 now and I'll be 47 in March. My hair's pretty much slowed down the balding. It started in my early 30s. So yeah, it's balding quite a bit, but when I got to my hair transplant in my 40s, I had it done at 43, it seems to have slowed down a bit, and hopefully the saw palmetto, if you're balding really vigorously, then it probably won't help the saw palmetto, it won't be strong enough. So in that case, I'd always say explore finasteride or dutasteride. You know, you don't want to just not take anything, because people said to me, well, what's the point of having a hair transplant if you are going to have to keep taking things in addition to your hair transplant? And I thought your hair transplant would, you know, the hair would be DHT resistant. And it's true, the hair that they transplant isn't always, so it can still come out, it can still start balding, but it should be pretty resistant. So it should, that's why they take it from this, like there and there. But any hair that's on top already, like in my example, I was receding at the front. I had hair that kind of went up into a kind of like a triangle on either side. I kind of used to brush it up, kind of like a little sort of mohawk, kind of like a comb over, but not one side, but on both sides, so it sort of met and went up in the middle. And also on the back I was balding. That's where I first noticed my balding, was on the crown at the back there, which is where a lot of people start balding. But so where it starts receding and the bald patch starts getting bigger on your crown, it kind of meets in the middle, especially down the top. So any hair that you've got on top that's your existing hair, that can continue balding. So what you don't want to do is have your hair transplant at your front, and if they fill in the crown or whatever, then your hair in your middle, that's the existing hair, if you're not taking finasteride or whatever and your hair does continue balding, you'll get like a patchy hair transplant and you'll have gaps, and so you don't want that. So my advice would be check out finasteride. Yes, some get side effects, a small proportion. I've never taken it myself, I can't because I give blood. They definitely don't allow it, but I mean, a lot of you probably don't give blood, so definitely explore that. Read up on it, speak to your dermatologist, your doctor, and check it out. A lot of people I know in the UK here where I am buy it from a place called Dr Fox online. You have to get a prescription which you pay, I think, online for. Then they ask you like a health questionnaire, and then they basically send it through the post to you. You've got to look after your existing hair. You know, it's a constant battle against your going bald, basically. It's a constant. In my case, it may just be that my balding has slowed right down to almost stop because of my age. You know, I'm a lot older than what some people are getting hair transplants in their 20s or 30s. I was 43, so yeah, overall, at the moment, my hair's long, like you can see, so it covers over the crown, which is pretty cool. My crown is still, and I knew this when I had my first transplant, it wasn't, I've only had one transplant by the way, but I had the first one and I knew that it was not going to completely have enough grafts in that day to cover the whole of the crown, so they put some in, but they're a bit sparse. So in future, yeah, I might go back for a second op, back to Turkey, and get a second, hopefully top the crown up, and I've hopefully got enough in my donor area on the sides and back to do that. A lot of people, when you first start looking, they think, well, if you take the hair out, does it just regrow? No, you've removed those grafts, you've put them somewhere else. So no, it doesn't regrow. So that's where you've got to have a skilled technician or surgeon, doctor, whatever. So they take the hair and they kind of space it so that when it grows a bit, you can't tell. And some people get scarring. I'm pretty happy with mine. I don't feel like it's scarred at all. I can't see it. You probably get people who say, yeah, they can see it, but like I said, I don't care. I'm happy with mine. I normally shave it grade 1 on the sides and the back. If you can see the back. And yeah, I've never noticed any scarring, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, the other thing I might do is get my teeth done. One of my teeth there is cracked and it needs coming out. When it comes out, it's about 2 to 3 grand to get what's called an implant, which is kind of like a fake tooth they can screw in. So what I'm going to do is probably do that in Turkey at some point because it works out quite a lot cheaper. I've started a new hair group, nearly a year now it's been running, and I'm amazed actually, it's got well over 2,000 people on it now. A lot of really clued up guys and girls on there. It's not just about hair, it's about teeth. We talk about dental a lot. A lot of you are into getting veneers and that kind of thing. So if that's your thing, a lot of people are flying out to Turkey to get that done now. I personally, my teeth aren't too bad. I don't want them shaved down to put veneers on. But you can get things like composite bonding. There's a lot of new things where they don't actually have to shave your teeth down to make them a lot whiter. Get the movie star smile and stuff like that. The group's mainly about hair, but the group's called Hair Loss Solutions, Transplants, Dental and Health. It's basically, we only speak about clinics we've been to. We don't sort of say, oh, my mate's cousin's twice removed, best mate's uncle heard this about this place, because you know it's like Chinese whispers, different things go around. We prefer to sort of stick to the truth by only saying about places we've had our hair or our teeth, and not just that as well, we talk about health, just have a laugh really. We talk about, it's just like going to a pub or a bar, you know, we just have a chat. And see, some people post all the time, some like to sit in the sidelines and just read about it. It's a cool group, check it out if you want, I'll put a link below. I've not done as many hair vids, I've not done one in ages actually, because, you know, what can you say, it's your hair, it's, you know, there's only so much you can say about your hair basically. But a lot of vids sort of fizzle out after a year or two. That's why I thought it's literally my 3rd anniversary since having it done, so I thought I'd make a vid, show how it's going. Probably gonna get it cut sometime soon because of, like, if I go back to Turkey, they'd shave it anyway. You can have the no shave options. I've seen a few on the group recently have had like their hairline done and they've had their hair tied back so that you just have the hairline. They said people haven't even noticed they've had their hair transplanted, so that's an option as well. If you want the no shave option, inquire about that. Have I learned stuff in the 3 years since I had it done? If you think about it, when I booked mine 6 months in advance before actually going, and I was sort of looking into it before that, so I basically, it's been sort of probably 3 to 4 years now since I started looking. Things have changed a bit. It's very competitive, the markets. That's why you get a lot of, it's hard to explain, but I basically didn't do hardly any research. I basically saw, there wasn't as many places to research back then. There weren't as many hair groups, there weren't this and that. So basically I saw this guy who was on this one group that was available back then, loved his hair. He went from being literally bald to having really good hair. And I basically asked him where he went, he said, and that's what made my mind up straight away. But I would say, yeah, do your research, just look into it, you know, look at places that specialise in your type of hair. Don't look on Instagram at the clinic sites because they're only going to show the best results. Don't look on their websites because they're not going to show a bad result, are they? So just look into it. There's a lot of people who take commission from recommending this and recommending that. As I've said before, I don't get paid to do this. I'm just talking about my hair, how I found it. So don't copy someone else. Just because they've been somewhere and had a great result doesn't mean you're going to definitely get a great result. Do your research, look at clinics, maybe shortlist 3 of them in your price range. Rule out the ones you can't afford because there's no point in looking at those. So look at the ones in your price range and, you know, send them your pics, see what they say, see what kind of feeling you get from them. Ask them questions, you know, it's your money, ask them as many questions as you want. How quickly do they get back to you? You'll get a gut feeling of whether you like them or not. Yeah, I'm not promoting anyone. Basically, it's your hair, it's your money, you do what you want. There are a lot of people that get commission though, so you'll find a lot of people private messaging you saying, oh, you should go here, you should do this, you should do that, because they get basically commission. There's a lot of people who badmouth certain clinics, and a lot of us think they get paid for doing this because they're so aggressively bad mouthing them, you know, you hear the old hair meal, inconsistent results, and a lot of, we've been seeing recently a lot of these high-end expensive clinics and quite questionable results from them. I mean, some of them were, if I'd spent that much money I wouldn't be too pleased. So yeah, a lot of people go to Turkey because it's cheaper. It's not just Turkey, there's places in Spain, there's Poland, Bulgaria, there's lots of clinics. Some are more expensive than others. Where I went, you pay extra if you want the doctor to make your incisions, which are basically the cuts that they put the grafts into. Back when I had mine done, I basically didn't pay any extra to have the doctor do them. It was included in my package because I went via a third-party company called Q&A Medical. Basically, I booked through them. They booked the appointment with the surgery. Because I booked through them, I didn't have to pay any extra for using my credit cards. I just had to show them my flight tickets to prove that I was definitely going. I didn't have to pay any extra for the doctor to do my incisions. I did pay extra to have the painless anaesthetic, and there's a lot of misconceptions about that as well. You still have the needles, the anaesthetic, but you have like this gun thing that they shoot at your head that feels like someone going like that, like flicking elastic bands at you. Some don't like that. It really didn't bother me at all. It just felt like water spray, like blasted onto your head. Then they still inject, so it's not needle free, they still inject. Okay, so don't think that, and it doesn't make it pain free, it's supposed to reduce the pain by about 60%. Some people say it hurts just the same, some people say it doesn't. For me, I found it completely bearable. And you think, you know, you have to ask yourself, if it was really, really that bad, then why would people keep having second hair transplants or whatever? If it was that bad, you probably wouldn't, you'd say no way. So don't let the whole issue of needles put you off, because it's like the first one stings and after that your head starts going numb, so the next one you don't feel as much and like that. And it's one day of your life, don't let that put you off, if that's the only thing that's putting you off. Some people don't like flying, some people this, that. If you find you completely making up excuses not to go all the time, then you're probably not going to get it done. So, you know, try not to think about it if that's the case. I did tell everyone at my work where I was working at the time, just to make them aware that when I come back after Christmas, I'm going to have a shaved head that probably looks a bit red. And like I said before, they were all completely supportive. People don't support you, or they try and take the mick. It's usually because they're slightly jealous that you've done something about your baldness or whatever, and they're usually bald people themselves that know they're never going to bother getting anything done. If you want to get it done, you're trying to improve your appearance, improve your confidence. You know, just get it done. Don't worry about what other people think. If you worry about what people think throughout your life, you'll just get nowhere, because there's always going to be someone who's negative to what you've had done. You know, you could have the best hair transplant under the sun, and there's always going to be someone who says that doesn't look natural. And what looks natural to one person isn't the same. Some people say, oh, that doesn't look natural, that hairline, or it looks, you know, I want it like baby hair, ooh, through my hairline. It's like, I'm fine with mine, I'm happy with it, I don't care, I don't want stupid like little, so it looks like ultra dense, ultra. Some people get so obsessed with that, and I'm just happy to have hair basically where it wasn't before. And the other thing is, you get people who want the temples like really forward, they want the hairline down here, and you see some of them draw pictures, they take a photo of themselves and they draw pictures. You think, really? You know, you're sort of in your 30s and you want hair lying down here. It would take literally all of your grafts. You don't have infinite grafts, you can't. So it would take, to move the hairline down even a centimetre, it takes a lot of grafts. So you know, you've got to be realistic. The other thing is, you've got your frown lines. You do not want your hairline here, because when you're talking, your hair's going to be going like this all the time and it will look really ridiculous. The other thing is your age. If you're in your 40s like me, you don't want your hair down here. I don't want to act like I'm some like teenager, because I'm not. Try and be realistic. Don't. And the other thing is, when they do it, your head is swollen, so it will always look really far back. But then as the swelling goes down, so does your hair. Your hairline goes back down. Just be aware that moving it down too much, you don't want it on your frown lines, and you don't want it down too far, because it will use all your grafts. If you need to go for a second op and you run out of grafts on the sides or the back mostly, you're screwed basically. In the future, there's a lot of research and development. I was speaking to somebody yesterday about it. There's a company in Britain now that's doing pretty well with all this, where they can grow hair from you. There's like stem cell technology I've heard in Japan, where they'll basically be able to grow a lot of hair from you. So you'll have infinite numbers of grafts, which would be cool. You know, it'd be really, really brilliant. But when it first comes out commercially, it'll probably be very expensive and may not even be in my lifetime or yours. But I think they'll eventually do it. It really shows up. One thing is, in bright light like this, like I can see the sky right up I'm in, different lighting can really affect how it looks. So you'll see some photos as well online where people are in dim lit rooms. Some people are obsessed with being under a bright light. That's why I've basically gone in front of the window today. But just be aware that under a bright light or under sunlight, direct sunlight in the summer, your hair is always going to look thinner. You'll be able to see through it a lot more easily, whereas in the winter, or if it's like not such a brightly lit room, you won't see through as much. You know, I've got nothing to hide. I've already said my crown's a little bit patchy on the back, needs a few more grafts put in. Hopefully get my tooth sorted and my hair maybe next year. I've been putting it off a bit because A, I've got no money, and B, with COVID restrictions, I don't want to keep booking something then have to cancel, because it's a nightmare trying to get time off work. So I don't want to keep booking, then cancel, book, then cancel, and pushing flights back and stuff like that. It's just a pain. I thought my tip is grow your hair long, cover your bald, any sort of patchy bits at the back, tie it up like that, and then when travel restrictions are eased completely and you've got a good chance of making it out to your actual hair transplant, then go. As I said, check my new hair group out. It's been there for nearly a year now. Everyone on there seems a good laugh. They all seem very positive, very into helping each other really. I hope you have an amazing Christmas, and let's hope we all have great New Year, great hair, great teeth, and hopefully COVID restrictions will ease and we can all get out to wherever it is we're going, like not just your hair and teeth, but you're just travelling in general. I love travelling. Check out some of my other vids. I stay in a lot of hotels every year. I'm pretty lucky in that respect. So I usually try and film them all, whether it's a top end hotel like 5-star luxury, or even down to like a 1, 2, 3-star hotel. I just film them all, so check them out. I also do a lot of walking. I like exercise, I like the gym, I like running, so I do a lot. There's a website called Fancy Free Walks, give them a bit of a plug. Really good website, loads of walks around the south of England. I filmed those for them now. They're all sped up, so you can literally sit in your armchair and watch a 5-mile walk in 5 minutes. Have a great Christmas, everyone.